Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, cool. Yes, so let's start with your query first, okay?
Okay.
So you sent me the query and then I replied you back, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's open that one first. See, what did you send me? Okay, here you go. Okay, so you sent me this, right? Okay, let me copy this. I don't know how you are even getting a result from this. Okay. Number one, your issue with your SQL statement. You put a semicolon right here. You see it. So when you are putting a semicolon right here, you are telling Oracle, I mean the platform, and here in this case is Oracle, that I want to end my SQL statement, right? And then you are putting one more statement here. Okay, so it will give you an error. Let me try to run this. Okay. See, oops, it ran. That's interesting. Okay, you know why it
I'm
ran? Because
I'm not
no,
seeing what you're doing on your screen. I'm actually seeing
you're not seeing my screen.
no, I'm not seeing your screen.
Okay, hold on. Um, uh,
Uh, I'm seeing Tim Buckley's screen. Exactly. So okay, yeah, I can see you now.
you can see me my screen now. Okay, good.
Yes, I can see it now, yeah.
Okay, so you are running this SQL statement. Okay, and when you run this SQL statement, so there are two issues with this. Number one, you are putting a semicolon right here, right? So when you are
Oh,
putting a
yeah.
semicolon right here, you are telling the platform that I want to finish my SQL statement. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it is ignoring this whole statement,
Oh, I see.
right? Now let's
Yeah.
take this out. Okay, let's put this, and when you run it, it's running for everything. Okay,
Yeah.
it's running for everything. Now let's
Yeah.
take this out. Okay, when you take this out and when you run it again, okay, it's going to give you error.
Give you an error.
It's
Yeah.
saying day of month must be between 1 and last day of month. Why? Because
Month.
you are saying higher date and you are putting a number, and this is a date. Date cannot be a number. Even though you are putting it in a single quote and converting it into character, but Oracle still thinks that this is a number. Even though it is converted into character, but Oracle is very smart enough to identify and find out that this is not a character, this is a number. Okay, and it will take this as a number. Even if it takes this as a character, it will give you an error because it cannot find this 94 in a higher date. There is no date. Date has to be in a date format: DD, Mon, YYYY, or RRRR.
Oh,
Right?
the format. It must follow the format.
Huh? Yes, the same format. Yes.
Yeah.
So here, if you had said that I want something like this, 01 Jan, let's say 95, okay, like this, and when you have run this, then it will at least run correctly. Though it says no data found because it did not find 01 January 95, but at least it did not give an error. Now the question is, Shikha, are you there? Shikha?
Yes, I am here.
Okay. So what we are doing is we are doing the problem number 7. Okay, in the practice test 2.
Okay.
Okay. So the problem number 7 says that let me open the problem number 7.
Select last name hire date from employees where hire date is in 1994.
That
Okay.
displays the last name and hire date for all the employees who were hired in 1994.
Who were hired in 1994, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So we want everyone who were hired in 1994. That means from 01 January 1994 to 31st December 1994. Right? Now, how can we do that? If we say in, then it is looking for this is only this value. Now I can also say with comma, I can also say, for example, if I put 94 here, I can put 0 like this. I can put, oh sorry, I can put 0 to January 94. Like that, I can keep on going until 31st December 1994, right? But that is not good, right? This is a waste of my time. I don't want to do that way. So how can I do that? How can I do that? If I put equal to 01 Jan 1994, okay, then it will look only for this particular date. If I put in, then also it was looking only for this date, but I have to give a range here, right? Some kind of a range so that it can have all the dates starting from January 1 to 31st December. So I can do it in multiple ways. Easiest way, number one, easiest way, okay, is going to be this one, like 94 like percent 94, right? Why it is easiest way? Because I am saying wherever higher date, okay, if higher date has 94 in the end, because 94 is going to be in the end only, right? You cannot have a month as 94, you cannot have a date as 94, right? So 94 has to be at the end or at the year only, okay? Had it been that I want to look for, let's say 19, right? Like let's say 19 year 19 2019, then also it would work. But if I should not put a percent here, because if I put percent here with the 19, then it will look for month 19, date 19 also, right? So anyway, coming back to our question, was this 294, okay? So let's see if it runs. It runs and it gives me all those who were hired in 94,
yeah,
right? So this is one way. Now this same thing can be done in multiple ways, okay? Multiple ways. This is the easiest way, okay? If I want to run it very quickly, I am going to use this, right? This has a drawback, okay? This has a drawback. This particular statement has one of the drawback. We haven't learned it, but I am still telling you the drawback is this query is going to be slow, okay? If I am running in an environment like a Costco environment with terabytes of data, this query is going to be slow. Why? Because when I'm saying like, I cannot use index. Index is a advanced concept where I give an where I create index for my higher date column. If my higher date column is used often, okay, then I create the indexes, and this query cannot use index because like cannot be used as an index. So this query it will be costly for me, okay? But since I don't have much of the data, so I don't mind using it here. But had it been a Costco environment, or where terabytes, Amazon or something like that, I will not use this. Then what I will do? Then I will do this between, okay, and I will use this between 01 Jan 1994, right? And what will be in the end statement? 31 December 1994. Got it? Okay. This will also give me the same result. But what I'm saying is higher date between January 1 to 31st December 1994. That way it will give me everything.
Okay.
Right? And there is one more way of doing it, which is using the AND statement, where I'm saying higher date is greater than equal to. When I'm saying greater than equal to, I am including equal to, I'm including this particular date 01 January also, and I'm saying higher date greater than equal to this, and higher date, let me copy this, and higher date is less than equal to this. This is also between. This is also between, right? But I'm just using the symbol here. So this is also between. This will also run and it will also give me the same result. So same query can be same statement can be ran using different queries. The choice is yours, which one you want to use. Got it?
Okay.
All right. Okay, Emmanuel, you have more questions?
I'm okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm okay.
Okay. All right. Okay, sounds good. Let's start our session. Okay. Okay. This one, and I need to share this. So.
Oh, sorry. Can I ask one more question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. The last question on the practice 2.
Okay.
It says create a report to display the last name, salary, commission of employees who earn commissions. Sort data in descending order of salary and commissions. Now, descending where I've got the challenge is in descending order of salary.
Okay.
I can do of salary, but now the and the commissions attached to it is where I have a confusion.
Okay, no problem. Do you see my screen now?
Yeah, I do.
You see I am on live SQL Oracle, right? You see that, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I am writing the query. Okay. Last name, comma, salary, comma, salary and commission, right? So what was the commission? Commission column, commission underscore percent, right?
PCT. Yeah.
PCT from employees who earn commissions. Who earn commissions. That means commission cannot be null.
Yeah.
Got it? Commissions
Exactly.
cannot be null. Is
No.
not null.
No.
This will give me query up to commissions. Okay, where commissions is not null, but it will not sort it. So we'll do the sorting later. See, it is giving me only for those employees where the commission is not null. Right now it is saying sort data in descending order of salary and commission. So descending order of salary and commission. So I have to use order by, right? So I'm saying salary and commission underscore PCT, right? Now if I do this, sorry. Okay, if I do this, then what will happen? Then it will give me in ascending order of salary and this one.
What the salary, the what salary is wrong.
Yes. So it will give me descending order of ascending order of salary and then ascending order of percentage. So if you see here, it is giving me ascending order of salary first. So like first is 6100, which is the lowest, and then it's going to the highest. Similarly, and then the commission percent. Okay. So if somebody has 7000, which is the same salary like this one, 7000, then it is going with the percent, with the commission percent. So 7000.15, 7000.15, then 0.25, like that. But it is telling me to do descending order of salary and commission. So both in descending order. So it is simple. I'll just say DESC here and I will say DESC here, right? Because I need to do it both. It's not saying descending order of salary only. It is saying descending order of salary followed by commission in descending order. Okay. So this is what it is going to do, and this is what the result is. Got it? So first is salary is in descending order, then the commission percentage in descending order. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now the last line, use the column's numeric position in the order by clause. Now it's saying use the numeric position. Now numeric position is for salary. What is the numeric position? 2, because last name is first, salary is 2. So let me change this to 2, and the commission percent is 3. So I will change this to 3, and then I will run it again. And I get the same result.
Okay.
right?
Yep.
Okay, all right, let's move on. Where were we? Okay, do you see my screen now?
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. So we are going to be starting from here for the dates. So we didn't do the dates properly. There were some issues that it was giving us, the platform was giving us, and the reason behind the issues were the things that we were trying to do. Converting the date function, when we haven't learned those functions, right? So those are going to be coming, so that's why we cannot use them as of now. So those were the issues. Anyway, we'll do everything from starting from here, right? So arithmetic with dates. So what it's saying is, it's saying that you can use arithmetic operations with dates as well. Not only just the numbers, but with dates also you can use the arithmetic operations. So how do we do the arithmetic operations with date? So the database stores date as numbers, right? If you go behind, we cannot see behind, right? We cannot go to the database level and see how database is storing everything, how characters are storing in 0 1 format, and how dates are getting stored and everything. We don't care, right? We care is how we are getting the data the way we want it. But how internally database is storing, that's not our motto. So but internally, how database is storing the values are, it's storing everything in numbers. So even the dates are stored in numbers, and that is why it allows you to do arithmetic operations on dates. Of course, there are some restrictions. You cannot do a multiplication on dates, you cannot do a division on dates, but simple arithmetic operations like addition and subtraction you can do. So what you can do date plus number. So for example, let's say today is 10 October, and I want to add 10. Let's say I want to add 5 to 10th October. Then what it will do is it will add 5 days to the 10th of October. So the new date will be 15th of October. So date plus number is allowed. Date minus number is allowed. It will reduce the date by those many number of days. Date minus number is allowed. Date minus date is allowed. So basically I can say that, for example, I can run a query and say, okay, give me all the employees and their duration of their duration that they were in the company from their hire date. So then what I will do is I will do hire date minus sys date, or in fact the opposite, because sys date is greater. So I will do sys date, which is today's date, sys date minus hire date. That will give me the total number of days that they have been working with me, right? Total number of days that they have been working with me in my company. So that way I can do date minus date. Also, I can also do date, as I said, date plus number, and that when I get the result, that result I can divide by other number. So I can divide that number by 24, or I can multiply that number by something, but I cannot do multiplication or division on the dates. Okay, so that is the concept of dates. Okay, so we'll move and we'll see how we are doing those arithmetic operations. So this is how we are doing the arithmetic operation. What we are doing is, we are here in this slide, you can see what we are doing. We are saying that last name, we are querying last name, and then we are saying sys date minus hire date. That means from today's date, how many employees, or all give me the days of all the employees that have been working with me since they have joined the company, right? So that's what it's going to give me, this information. Then what I'm doing is, this whole information, then I'm dividing it by 7 to get a week, and it will give me weeks, because I know weeks are 7 days. So 7 from employee department ID is 90. So we must have seen this, but I'm going to show it again how this works. And let's see this. So what it's doing is it's saying this only for department ID I'm running, right? So it's saying this particular person has been working with me for 1685 weeks. Okay, if I convert this into, let's say, as a rough ballpark figure of 365, so it will give me in year. So almost 32 years this guy has been working with me, right? So this way I can do. But let's say if I don't want to divide it, if I do like just like this, then it will give me number of days. So I can do date minus date, right? This is what I'm doing, date minus date. Can I do date plus date? No, I cannot do date plus, because I'm not going to get any result. What I'm trying to achieve here, some date plus some date, what I'm doing to, what is it going to do? Like, what am I trying to do also with, adding something? No, it will give me an error. Date plus date is not allowed. But what I can do is I can do this. Okay, I can do sys date and minus, let's say, 5. Okay, let's remove this weeks. I don't want this. Okay, and I don't want bracket also. If you want, we can put. If you don't want, we don't want to put. So I can do this. So you can say that today's date is 8th October, right? And sys date minus 5 is 3rd October. So which is, it's subtracting 5 days from the today's date. Similarly, I can add 5 days. So I can do this. So 13th October, right? So this is what I can do. Now let's go ahead with other data manipulation functions. So SQL comes with lot of different functions, as I mentioned earlier, and we were learning about the single row functions. So in the last session, we learned about single row functions, and we learned that there are single row functions and there are multiple row functions. The single row functions will take single row and will give you result in a single row. Multiple row functions will take multiple rows and will give you the result in single row. And we will learn about multiple rows. We haven't yet reached there, but these were the single row functions. So we learned about some numeric functions like round and truncate and other numeric functions. And now we are learning the date manipulation function. So these are the date manipulation functions. So months underscore between, like we have these 4 or 5 functions. We have more functions, but these are most important functions. So months underscore between, add underscore months, next underscore day, last underscore day, round, and trunk, right? Out of all of these, 3 functions are often used. 3 functions. Okay, one is months underscore between, that we use, add underscore months that we use, and trunk also are often used. Other functions are also used, but mostly in the HR or where you are trying to get a payroll or something, that's where you will use them. So let's say how these functions work. So months underscore between, what does this function does? So months underscore between, this gives me total number of months between the 2 dates. Okay, so if you notice here, when I said sys date minus higher date, okay, sys date minus higher date, it was giving me uh, number of days, right? But I want months. Now what I can do is I can say 30 divide by 30, right? After doing this, I can say divide by 30, and it can give me a rough figure, rough amount of total number of months, right, that this guy has been working with my company. But I want the exact number. So if I want the exact number, then I will use this months underscore between, right, comma, and then I will use sys date minus, comma, higher date. Okay, and then I will run this. So this way it will give me the exact number of months. Now you can see that there are slight differences because they have been working for so long, 32 years or whatever. So of course there has to be some some difference. So 3 or 4 months, whatever. So that's why it's giving me months underscore between. Now what add underscore months does? Add underscore months add calendar months to date. So if I want to add months, then I will use add underscore months. So we learned how to add days to the date, like sys date plus 5. That's what we did, right? So for example, this is what we did, sys date plus 5, and it was giving us the, it was adding the days to the today's date. Sys date minus 5 was subtracting the date. But let's say I want to add months, then what I'll do, then I'll do add underscore months, right? Add underscore months, comma, and then I will give date and the number of months that I want to add it to, right? So I'll say sys date, which is here, and then let's add it by, let's say okay, let's say 5. So it should go into next year. Let's see how that works. So see, it goes into next year 2020, which is March 2020, right? So that's how we do add underscore months. So we learned months underscore, add underscore months. Next, see what is the next one. Okay, next is next underscore day. What next underscore day does is it gives me the next day specified by the day of the week. So I have to specify the day of the week in the next day. So let's say okay, let's say next underscore day, okay, comma sys date, comma today is Thursday, let's say Monday, right? Yeah, we can do Monday. And what it does is it tells me that based on this date, sys date, when is the next Monday going to be, and that date it is returning me. So when do I use this? I use this for in cases where I need to find out when my payroll will be running, for example. Now in that case, I can always say that payroll will run on Monday. Let's say if somebody's payroll runs on Monday, or not on Saturday, Sunday, for example, right? Then I can use this and I'll say when is the next Monday. If today is this, based on today's date, when is the next Monday? Okay, because that's when I'm going to get my salary, right? So it will give me the next Monday, right? So, or I can do Sunday or whatever number of days, I mean the day. Now next is last day of the month. Okay, so this will give me what is the last day of the month is. So last underscore day, okay, and then let's say sys date. Okay, so this will give me the last underscore day. So it's giving me the last last day of the month. Now why do I need last day of the month? So let's say for example somebody is retiring and I need to know when is the last day of the month, because I need to throw a party for him, or I want to know based on the last day of the month, how many days, how many months the person have worked or something like that. So I can figure that out also, right? If I'm giving a bonus based on the number of days that somebody would have worked, based on let's say I want to give a bonus on for my Christmas party, right? And my Christmas party is coming in November 1st or whatever. So I am just trying to calculate whoever worked how many number of days, and then I want to multiply that. So I'm going to get last I'll do last underscore day, okay, for the October month, and that will give me the 31st October or whatever, and then I will just multiply it, okay, with my salary or with my bonus amount, and that way I can get the last day of the month. There are a lot of different ways that you can use these features, okay. So that's what we learned about last underscore day. Now round date. Now what does round date does? Round date returns date rounded to the unit that is specified in the date format. So what we are doing here is round underscore date and trunk underscore date. Now round underscore date we don't use that often, but trunk we use very often. Okay, so let's see how round works. Okay, so this is going into this. Let's clear this up. Okay, otherwise I have to scroll. I have to scroll to the right side. Okay, let's clear this up. Okay, let's clear this also. Okay, all right, now we'll do round. So round of, let's say, sysdate comma, and then I'm going to say I want to, today is 10th of October. Okay, so I want to round it by, let's say, by month. Okay, so I'll say month. Okay, and I want to round it by month. So let's see what it gives me. So when I'm saying rounded by month and today is 10th, it is giving me 1st of October. So what does round, what round does? So when these round and trunk, these, we have learned these functions that they work with numbers also, right? And what they do is, if the number is closer to the next digit, like more than half of the next digit, then it goes to the next digit. If it is less than the half of the next digit, then it truncates and it comes, it subtracts uh, from that number. Anyone has any questions? Okay, so when these functions are used with dates, these functions round or truncate to the specified format model, like month or year, whatever model that we are giving. Okay, now you can round dates to the month, and you can also round dates to the year. So for example, this, if you see this, then let's see what happens. So it rounds to the next year. Why? Because October is more than half. That's why it's rounding to the next year. So so what we have learned here, is that if the format model is month, right? Because earlier the format of month. So if the format model is month and date is between 1 and 15, the result will be 101, the first day of the month. If the date is between 16 and 31, then the result will be last day of the month, right? I mean the first day of the next month, right? So for example, let's say if I add sysdate plus 10. Okay, what will sysdate plus 10 do? Sysdate plus 10. Okay, what will sysdate plus 10 do? Let's see. Okay, and this, let's change it to month. Okay, so when I set sysdate plus 10, okay, it made 18th October, right? And now I'm saying sysdate plus 10. So basically I'm saying 18th October, and then round it to month. So when I'm rounding it to month, this is greater than 16. So it falls between 16 and 31. So it is going to round it to the next month, first day of the next month, right? Similarly, had it been less than 15 days, between 1 and 15, then it will round to the first day of this month. So this is how round works. Now year also works similarly. Okay, now year, when I'm saying year, it is rounding to the next year because it's October month. Let's say if I am doing okay, let's say I am doing 180, right? So I'm subtracting by 180 days, and let's see what happens. So I'm subtracting this by 180 days, and it is rounding to the first day of this month, right? First day of this month. Okay, so so this is how round works. Now let's see how trunk works. Okay, now let's change this same thing to trunk. Okay, and let's remove this. Okay, this, let's see how trunk works. So what I'm saying is trunk sys date, which is 10th of October. Now I want to trunk it by year. Okay, now trunk doesn't care. Trunk doesn't care whether you have already crossed 6 months, you know, where you are. No, it's going to just truncate and comes to the first day of the year, which is 01 January. Similarly, it doesn't care. It's going to give you, if I say month, it's going to truncate and give me the first day of the month. Even if I say sys date plus 10, which will make it 18, it's going to give me the same result. It's going to give me the same result. It's going to give me the same result. Let's run this. Okay, so it's giving me the same result, which is 01 October 19. So this is how trunk works. Now, when do we use these things? Okay, we use these things when, let's say, you want to do some kind of a financial, you work in a bank, or where you are doing some financial reporting or something like that, and you want to find out what will happen the next calendar year or something like that. That's when you will use, and you will truncate to the next month, or truncate round to the next month, or round to the next year. But trunk we use often. Round we do not use that often, but trunk we use very often. How we use very often is when I am doing in a where clause, when I am doing something to do with the with my dates. Okay, like for example, hire underscore date. Okay, when I'm doing hire underscore date, let's say I'm doing is greater than 01, let's say Jan 19. Okay, 01 Jan 19 is greater than 01 Jan 19. So I am saying it should be greater than 01 Jan 19, but that means it should be from 0 to January 19, right? It should be greater than this. Or let's say I am doing smaller than 01 Jan 19. Okay, it should be before 01 Jan 19, right? Now this will work perfectly fine now onwards. But if my hire date in the database is stored like this, okay, if it is stored like this, 01 Jan 19, okay, then I have, let's say, 04 colon 20 colon, let's say 15, and then let's say PM. Okay, if my hire date is, or any date, forget about hire date, but let's say transaction date. Okay, let's say this is a transaction date, because transaction, when I'm storing a transaction date in a database, I want to store the timestamp also. This is called timestamp. Okay, this is whole thing is called timestamp. I want to store timestamp also. So let's say I'm storing timestamp also. So my transaction date has date as well as timestamp. Okay, both of these together. So when I have this, and let's say I am doing some kind of a query where I am saying transaction date should be less than 01, or let's say should be less than 02 January 19. Okay, then it should be less than 02 January 19, or less than 01 January 19. Then what it will do is, I am saying should be less than 0, but it can be equal to 01 January 19, right? It can be equal to this, but when it will do, when it will search for this particular condition, then it automatically thinks that I am searching for this. I am searching for something like this. Okay, 00 colon 00 colon 00 AM. It thinks I am searching for this, but I am not searching for this. I am searching for everything less than 01 January 19. So starting from January 2, I should not get the queries, but at least January 1st I should get. But it will not give me this because it thinks that I am using this, and this particular transaction came after 000000 AM. So it will not give me all the transactions that came after 0000 AM. But I don't want it that way. I want this transaction to come. So then I will use trunk. Okay. Then I will use trunk like this here. And then I will run this. When I'm saying trunk, what it does is it truncates all the timestamp. It truncates all the timestamp and then it gives me 01 Jan 19. And that's what I want. Right? So when I'm saying trunk, see, I'm not even putting whether month, year, date, nothing. I'm not putting anything. But when I'm not putting anything, that means I want to truncate at the timestamp portion of the date. And as soon as I do that, it's going to give me the correct result. Okay. Do you guys have any questions here?
No.
Okay. All right, let's move on to the next one. So this is what truncate and round does. Now, last time what we were trying to do was, last time we were not using the date. We were using the character here. Okay, which was like something like this, Jan 19, something like that, right? And we were doing trunk of this. Now, because this was a character and not a date, right? It was this trunk was not working because I have to then first convert this character into date and then use it, because trunk and round, these two functions can work only with numeric or with the date functions. Okay, so because this was a date, this was not a date, this was a character, we were getting the issue. So we had to convert the functions, the data types. Now we can do that, but we haven't learned them. So how can we do that? So that's why it was giving issues. Anyway, let's move on to the next slide.
I have a question for the trunk. So when you did like this is date minus 10 and it gave the same like October 1st, right? Or sys date minus 5 you did, right?
Okay. Go ahead.
So what if I do sys date minus 20, which takes it to September date? Will it still give me the result as October 1st, or will it take me down to September?
Okay, you tell me the answer. What do you think?
I think it would move to September.
Okay.
1st.
Okay, let's see. September 1st.
Okay.
You're right. Right? Because why it moved to September 1st? Because now your date is sys date minus 20. So now your new date is not this. Now your new date is this. So your new date is 18th September.
Okay.
Right? So because your new date is 18th September and you are doing trunk.
So it moves it forward. Okay.
Yes. If it was round, then what would have happened?
1st of October.
That's right. Okay. All right.
Got it.
Okay. Let's move on to the next one. So this is the same thing what we learned using round and trunk function with dates. We are just assuming that this sys date is 25th July 03, and if sys date is this date, then round of sys date to month, what it will do is it will move to the next month, first day of next month, because it is 25 between 16 and 31. So that's why it's moving to 01 August 03. Now when we are doing round of sys date to year, then it is going to move July.
More than
July is 7. Okay, so it's moving to the next year. Okay, if we are doing trunk of this, it is going back. Okay, it doesn't matter whether 25, whether 31st, trunk doesn't care. So it's going to move it to the first date, first day of the month. Now if I'm doing year, it's going to move to the first day of the year. All right.
okay.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. Next is we are going to be learning some data type conversion functions. Okay. So as I mentioned earlier that we have right now we have learned three types of data types, right? Okay, let me open the Excel and then I will explain you better. Okay, in the here, so you can see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I have Ajay, Manuel, and then I have Shikha. Okay, and then I have someone else. Let's say John. Okay, and then I have their hire date. So 01 Jan 19. Okay. Okay, so let's say these are the three different columns that I have. Okay. This is the serial number, this is the name, and this is the hire date. Three different. So each of these columns have different data type. This type, the type of this column is, it can only store numeric values. The type of this is, it can only store characters. The type of this is, it can only store dates. Now can I put Ajay here? No, it will give me an error. Okay, when and I specify that when I'm creating the tables. Okay, I specify what type of a column this is going to be, right? Similarly for this, if I enter, let's say if I enter date, right, like 1 Jan 19, something like this. Okay, it would throw me an error. The only way it would not throw me an error is when Oracle or SQL thinks that you are storing this as a character. This 01 Jan 19, you are storing it as a character and not as a date. That's when it will not give you an error. Okay, because SQL is very smart enough to understand and that you did not mean to put a date here, you meant to put a character here. So in those cases it will not throw me an error. Now I can store 3 here, and it may logically it will be wrong, it will give me an error because I meant to store a numeric, but Oracle will think that you are storing a character here because for example phone numbers, you can put phone numbers or social security numbers as characters, so it will think that you meant to store as a character, but I meant to store as a numeric, so logically it will be wrong, though it will not give me an error. So this is like that. Now this is a numeric, I cannot store a character here. Okay, this is how we specify when we create a table, and I'll show you the script. So these are the scripts that we ran, right? We didn't learn them, but just for your reference I'm just showing you. When we are creating the table like department table and we are creating a column department ID, we are specifying what type of a column this is going to be. So this is a number column, we defined that this is a number column. Similarly for department name, we defined that this is a character column, where char is a character column. For manager ID, we are defined number, location, number. For employees, for hire date, we are defining that this is to be a date column. Okay, this is to be a date column, so we are defining that, so that way it cannot store some absurd data. Okay, we are enforcing it that it's a date column, it should store date only. All right, so those are the data types. But when I am running the queries, very often I need to convert my date column to character, my number columns to character, or my characters to number, or my dates to character and things like that. So for those things, I have the SQL provides me 3 different functions for me to convert my data types. Okay, this is called case typecast or data type conversions. Okay, so what are these functions? These functions are to_char. Okay, these functions are to_char, which is here, to_char, to_date, to_number. Okay, only 3 functions. When do I use these? So let's say I want to convert a character to a number. Okay, then I use to_number. It's very simple English, to_number. I want to convert, it to number. So to_number. When I'm converting character to date, I use to_date. Okay, when I convert date to character, I use to_char. When I use number to character, I use to_char. Okay, can dates be converted to number? No, dates cannot be converted to number, but dates are already stored in numbers only in the database. Okay, so you cannot directly convert them to numbers because it will give you a absurd result in some BC 4000 something, 40,000 something. So we don't usually use that because it's useless to use it that way. Anyway, so let's move on to the next one. Okay, now what are to_char functions? To_char function converts a number or date value because it works for both, right? To_char. If it's a number and I want to convert it to character, I use to_char. If it's a date and I want to convert it to character, I use to_char. So it converts a number or a date value to character string, but of course I have to specify what kind of a model I want to convert this into. So I want to specify the model type. So that is the to_char. Now this format model, this must there these functions have to be run in the way that in the syntactical way that they have, like the syntax that they have. So to_char have to be run in this way only. So to_char, then bracket, then you have to put the date that you want to convert, and then the format model, so the input model that you want to convert. Okay, so this format model must be enclosed in the single quotation mark. It is case sensitive. So even though my whole SQL is not case sensitive, this particular function and this particular format model is case sensitive. So case sensitive, this can only include valid date format element. So if instead of dd I put, let's say, pp, cc, gg, no, it will not work. It will give me an error. Okay, so this has to be a valid date format model. I can use fm. I can suffix this format model with fm if I want to suppress the spaces or zeros, and these are separated by comma. Let's see how these works. Okay, so uh, before we do that, we have the format model, the date format model. We have these different elements in the format model that we will be using. Okay, there are a lot more, but these are very common one, and this is most often are used. So we have y. Now we have already learned RR. We have y. Y is year, full year in numbers. If I say YEAR, then I spelled out in English. MM, 2 digits of month. MONTH, full name of the month. MON, 3 month, 3 digit of the month. Jan, Feb, like that. DY, 3-letter abbreviation of the day of the week. For example, Tuesday, TUE, Wednesday, WED, like that. Day, full name of the day of the week. DD is the numeric day of the month. So like that we use the date format model. Now let's see. This is the date format model of the date. Now we can also do the for the timestamp as well, right? like HH24, MISSAM, right? There are different types of timestamp format models. If I'm saying HH24, which I'm saying hour, HH is used for hour, 2 digits of hour. So I can say HH and I can say 03 for HH. Like if I'm saying 3 a.m., then I will say HH and it converts it into 03. If I say 3 p.m. and I say HH, then it converts into 03 and it puts a PM at the end. If I say HH24, then it thinks that you are talking about 24-hour time frame. Okay, then it converts 3 p.m. to 15. Okay, 3 p.m. to 15. MI is minute, 2 digits of minute. SS is second, 2 digits of seconds, and AM and PM are, these are called meridians, AM and PM. So it automatically converts them into AM or PM. Similarly, for the add character strings, we enclose them by with the double quotes. So for example, DD of month, it converts them into 12 of October. We can also put DD TH, so it will do 12th of October, like that. DD SPTH, then it will spell the whole day, and it will put the th at the end, like 14th, 13th, 16th, 12th, like that. Okay, we'll learn all of these. So this is an example. Okay, so what it does is, we are saying to_char hire date, and then we are giving a format. Okay, of course this format has to be a date valid format, because what I am doing, I am converting my date. Hire date is a date, so I am converting my date column to a character column. Okay, why I am doing it, I will tell you why I am doing that. So I am converting date column to a character column. Of course I have to give a format model. And what kind of a format model I have to give? I have to give a format model. This format model is a output format model. Okay, what kind of a output I want to get? So with that being said, this format model is a output format model. Okay, this is a output format model. What I'm doing is, I am saying hire date, which is a date. Okay, this is a date. Okay, I want to convert this date into this format, dd month yy, which should give me the result like this, dd month yy, right? So if I want a format like this, then I need to convert this into to_char, pass the date, and the output format model, the model that I want that model. I will pass that model and I will run the query. Okay, now let's do this. Okay, okay, let me copy this and let's run this. Okay, so it's giving me in this format. Let's say I give you a query and I say I want dates to be printed in this format. 17 17 like this June, like JUN, like June, and then YYYY. Okay, no dash, no dash at all. Okay, like in this way. I want all my dates to come in this format. Okay, now I want all my dates to come in this format. By default, how my dates are coming? If I say hire date here, okay, and if I run this query, how my dates are coming? My dates are coming as this 17-June-87, right? But I want my dates to come in this format, 17 June this. Then definitely I need to convert this into character, because I am changing. I don't want in a date format, but I want in a character format. I want in the way I want it, so which is a character. So what I'm doing is I'm going to convert this into character. So here I don't want, I want just 3 digits of the month. So MON and then YYYY. Okay, and then I'll run this. Did I make a mistake? Probably something happened. Let's run it again. Okay. Now I want it MON. So in this format. So I wanted that in that format. So I'll use it this. Now why did I use FM? Because FM is not my date format. What FM does is it suppresses the amount of space. So if I remove this, okay, let's see what happens if I remove this. If you see here, there is very slight, there was one or two places the space was not in the right format, and it changed that into the correct format if I remove the FM. See here. So for example, here, if you see here, 3 January, 3 Jan and 5th Jan, okay, this change from 03 to 3 Jan and 505 to 5, okay, if I put FM, because it suppresses the 0, okay. So this is how it gives me. But if I remove FM, see, it puts a 03 here and it puts a 05 here and is spaced out correctly if I remove the FM, okay. But let's say if I use a month and see how that works. If I use month, you can see that my for example 20, because this is a smaller one, right? So it is spaced out equally, right? It's spaced out equally. But if I am saying FM here, and when I run this, you can see that it doesn't spaced out equally. So it all depends on how we want it, right? So usually we don't put FM because we want to have it spaced out equally, because it's easier to read that way. But it's up to you, you know, how much, whatever, however you want it, you can put it that way. Okay. All right. Now let's say I want to probably change this to like this. I can do a lot of things here. Okay, I can do it in a many different ways. Like that you can do, you know, a lot of different ways we can do based on how you want your date to come. So we can do all that. Let's say I do not even want date, I just want month. Okay, I just want month and year, and I don't even want this dash. Okay, then also I can do this. It will give me only month and year. But had it been higher date, then it would have given me the whole complete date. But I don't want date, I just want month. So this is the way I can get month. Similarly, let's say I want just month and I want it in this format, MMYY. Okay, so I can run it and it will give me in this format, MMYY, right? So we have MMYY. This, let's say I want the complete day, so I can say day, sorry, I can say day and then MMYY, and then when I run it, it will give me Wednesday 0687. So like that I can get different ways of my date. So this is where I use to underscore char function, right? So we learned, I think we learned YYY, MM, DD, everything, right? YY, MM, month, DD, DY. We can learn DY also. So for example, if I just say DY, it will give me just the 3 digits of 3 characters of my the day of the week, right? Let's see what else I have. Okay, this is done. Okay, to underscore cab. Okay, um Now I have to underscore char as this one, but let's run one more query here. Let's say I want the date in this format, like the whole day, like the spelling of the day, and then I want to say of June. Okay, like 17th of June, like this, like 17th of June, like that. Okay, 17th of June, and then the year, right? 17th of June, and then I want year. Why, right? And then I want HHMISS also. Okay, like this. I want like this. So let's see how that works. Okay. Now instead of, because my hire date does not have a timestamp, so instead of hire date, let's use sysdate. Okay, I'm using sysdate, and this format I need to change. So I will change this format and I will do something like this: DDSP. Actually, I'll just use DDTH. Okay, because I want 17th. Okay, DDTH. Then I will use this because I want off. So off is going to be in the double quotes, off, and then I will use month. Okay, now here I'm using sentence case for month. Okay, so I'm saying month, and then I say y, and then I say HH colon MI colon SS, right? And then I close this. Okay, and then I run this, and then it gives me 9th of October 2019, and the time is 12:03:48. This time is this is actually Australia time or some other time, wherever they have a server. So it's that time. So I don't know where their server is, maybe in somewhere in Australia or whatever. So that time, but I think their database is in, probably their database has a in California or somewhere. Anyway, but their server is in, not in US, I think. So that's why it's giving me some Asia time or Australia time. Anyway, so this is how I can get the date, and you can see that I can get the HHMISS also, right? All right. So this is all about dates. Now let's move to the number function. Now I'm in to underscore char convert to number. So I can convert this to number also. How can I convert this to number? I mean number to character. And when do I do that? So let's say I have I work in a bank and I want to give like dollar sign there, and I want to put it in a comma separated, right? If I am just saying number, I will not be able to give it in that format, like million, like how millions are shown, like dollar and then comma and all that. So for that I can use to underscore char. So to underscore char, again we have a format model here, and the format model has different elements. 9 represents a number. 0, if I want to put a 0 specifically, then I use 0. Dollar sign, if I want to put a dollar sign. L is for local currency. Let's say I don't want to put dollar, I want to put pound or something, then I can use a local currency L. Dot, I can put dot 00 like that, so I can use dots. And comma, so I can put a comma as a separator, so I can do that as well. Now let's see how that works. So for example, this one. Okay, let's run this and see how this works. Okay, so now you see how it's giving me the salary. If I were to say just the salary, then it will be 6,000, but I want to print it in a nice format because I'm doing a report. So then I will do it this way. What I'm doing is I'm putting a decimal, so that after 6,000 it gives me .00. So I'm putting .00 here. 9 represents number. Okay, so I'm saying the salary, the max salary in my company is only 5 digit. Okay, it doesn't cross to 6 digit. So that's why I just use 5 digit, but I could have used 6 digit, 7 digit, 8 digit, as many digits as you want. So I'm saying 999, and then I put a comma, and then again 99, and then no comma, right? So similarly, if let's say I want to do it this way for a million, for example, and correct me if I put it wrong here. So for example, for a million, this is a million, right? So let's say I have 5 million, 500,000, and then 5 million, right? So let's say I have a 5 million here, and I want to show this, how this works. And this gives me in a nice $1 million format. Okay. So this is how I use the to_char to convert salary into a nice amount kind of a format, similarly to how you use it in Excel. So for example, in Excel, I can very easily, this is my number, I can very easily convert this to dollar, put a dollar sign, and this is how it gives me a very nice format. Similarly, they have given us a function to convert this into nice amount format. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, now we have to_number and to_date function. When do we use to_number function? We use to_number function when we want to convert a character to number. That's when we use to_number. And when do we use date function? When we want to convert character to date, then we use the date_ function. Okay. Now to_number we can use in a similar way how we use the to_char. Okay. So here also you have to specify the date, the format. Now how you have to specify the format is you have to say, it's the opposite basically. You have to say to_number, and then you will put this amount here like this, and then you will say, how this amount is, this is the input format, how this amount is coming, and then you run it, and then it gives you in the same way. So it's the opposite basically. So it's the opposite how you are getting. So you have this, somebody has given you this, and you want to do some calculation, because you cannot do a calculation on this, like multiply this with something. So you want to do a calculation, so you have to convert this into number. So then you can do the calculation here, right? So that's how you do it. For example, like this, right? I have like this 5 million. Let's say I want to, let's see if SQL is smart enough to do it. No, it cannot, because what I'm doing is I'm converting it to character, and then from character I'm saying multiply it with 100. No, it cannot do that. But had it been the opposite one, it would have done it. So here, if I do it the opposite way with 5 million or whatever, then it will allow me to do this. For example, here, copy this, change this to number. Okay, and then multiply with 100. So let's say somebody has given you 5 million as a in the database, and you want to do some calculation on that. So you can do the calculation on this. 100, it's giving me too many zeros. Let's convert it to 500. So it will, so you can see that changes. All right, sounds good. Let's move on to the next one. So this is how to_number works. Now how to_date works. To_date. Okay, now you must have noticed I did mention that to_char gives me the output format. Okay, these are not the output format, these are the input formats. Okay, this is an input format. I am telling what, when I'm specifying my character, I am saying what my this character is in which format. So that format I am giving. This is an input format. Okay, this is an input format. Similarly, for to_date also, this is an input format. Okay, this is my input format. I am telling SQL that my character is in which format, so that they can, so that SQL can convert that into date or convert that into number. So this is the input format. This is very important. Input format or output format. To underscore char always takes output format, how you want it to be shown in your reports. To underscore number and to underscore date is the input format, how you want, how your reports are and how you want to convert it into, I mean in what if you want to convert to number, what is the input format that SQL should take, that should know before you converting it. All right, let's erase this and let's see how to underscore date works. Okay, so to underscore date, let's run this to underscore date and see how this works. Okay, so what I'm doing is, if you have noticed here, they are two different, first of all, two different formats. One is ddmon YYY and the other one is ddmon RR. Two different formats. We have already gone through both the formats. What is the difference between YYY and what is the difference between RRR? Okay, or let's say this, what is the difference between YYY and what is the difference between RRR? Anyway, so now what I'm trying to do here is, in this query, I am trying to find all the employees that were hired before January, before 90, before the year 90. That's what I'm trying to do, and I am trying to show their hire date in the ddmon YY format. Now, if you have noticed here, I use RR format. Now, because the current year, which is 2019, is greater than 1999, right? The RR format interprets the year portion of the date from 1950 to 1999. That's the beauty of the RR format. Had it been YYY, right? Had it been YYY, it would convert this January 1990 to 2090. But because it is RR, it's automatically converting this into 1990. Why? Because the current year is 2019. So because it's 2019, it is already, it's between 0 to 50 to 49. It's converting it into previous century. When it is 51 to 99, it converts it into next century. That's the beauty of RR. With YY, it will convert this into 1990. So if I say YY, it will give me no data found. Sorry, not 1990, 90. Okay. Then it will give me sorry, not 0 January, not January 1990. I'm saying let's say 20, for example. 001, because it is less than, because it is less than 01 January 2090. That's why it is giving me. If it was this, then it will convert into 2020 and no data found, right? It's because, why? Because it is converting this into 2020 and it's saying no data found. That's why. Okay, but if it is RR, then it will convert this into 1920. Okay, still it is no data found because I'm saying higher date is greater than 2020, which is, and we are already in 2019. So it is converting this, still it is converting into 2020. That's why it is not giving me any value. But the idea is that how RR works and how YY works. Okay, so let's change this to how it was and then we'll learn more. Okay, now convert this. Okay, so this is what we are getting. Let's convert this to RR and see how that gives me the result. RR. Okay, so when I convert to RRR, you can see it is giving me 1987, right? It is giving me 1987. Why it is giving me 1987? Because I am right now in 2019. That's why it's giving me 1987, right? All right, let's say I change this to this. Okay, and then I change hire date. Let's say I change this hire date to two underscore date hire date, comma dd, comma I mean dash mon, and then yy, and then convert this to less than 01 Jan 1990, 01 Jan 1990. Okay, so what I'm saying is that my hire date in ddmon yy format, okay, is less than 01 Jan 1990. Okay, let's see what it gives me. Actually, you know why? Because I have to say ddmon yy, ddmon yy 2 underscore date 01 Jan 1990 2 underscore date hire date. Okay, why it is giving me error? Let's see. Let's find out why it's giving me error. Okay, now it will work. Yeah. So why it was giving me error before? Because my hire date is stored in 2-digit number. Okay, and I was saying why, so that's why it was giving me error. And earlier my m was small, so as I mentioned earlier, this is case sensitive. I cannot put a small, and this is 2 underscore date. 2 underscore date is a input format. Okay, I'm converting into input format, so not a output format. So whatever format that hire date is in, I want the same format here. Okay, so hire date, if it is in dd mon YYYY and Jan 1990. So what it's doing is it results in no rows. Why? Because the YY format interprets the year portion of the date in the current century. Okay, this is converting the hire date into current century. YY, and right now it's 2019, so it will convert this into 2090, for example, whatever 2090 is, 2090, and that's why it's not giving me any result. Had it been RR, okay, then also it will give me the same issue. Because why? Because it will still convert it into, but because I have a less than here, so that's why it worked. Because now it is converting 1990, it is converting whatever is 87, converting it into 19 into 19th century, and then it's less than, so that's why it's giving me uh, the values. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Anyone has any questions here? So this is how 2 underscore date works. 2 underscore date is basically your input format. Okay, so for example, actually we didn't see that, but we can see it here. So for example, 2 underscore date. Okay, and let's say I want to give, let's not confuse ourselves, let's say I want to give, and let's use dual here. Okay, let's not, okay, let's say my date is something like in this format, 01 January, and then 2019, for example. Okay, and then I have 012 colon 00 colon 20, for example, my HHMMI format. Then I want to convert this into date format. Okay, I want to convert ddmon rr, the exact date format. I don't want in this format. Then I'll give the input format, because this is 2 underscore, it takes the input format. So whatever format this is, I'm going to write the same format here. So I'm going to say dd, and then January, which is the complete month, and this is case sensitive. Okay, month, and then YYYY, and then HH colon MI colon SS. Okay, and then close, and then this, and then I run it, and then it says not a valid month. Not a valid month, probably because there is a space, because this is case sensitive.
January, there is a spelling error in January. Maybe that's the reason.
Oh yeah, you are right. January, January, right? It's correct now, right? Okay. And then it gives me the correct date format. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, now we have nesting. Now we saw the single row functions, right? Now we are only learning the single row functions. Now we have the nesting functions. All these single row functions can be nested together. Okay, that means I can put one function on top of the, I can put another function, then another function, then another function. I can keep on going. Okay, like that I can put as many functions as I want, nested functions. My first function will run first. So if you see here, this is my first function. Okay, my first function will run first. Then whatever the result of this function is, then it will do the second function, then it will do the third function. Okay, like that it will keep on going. So basically these are called nesting functions, where my internal innermost function will be evaluated first, then it keeps on going to the outermost level. So innermost, then to the outermost, like that it goes in the nesting functions. Okay. All right, let's see how that works. Okay, so we learned substr, we learned concat, we learned upper. Okay, and I am combining all of these together as a nesting function, and then I am running these. Okay, run them. See, this is what it's giving me. So first it's doing this, last name of 1,8. What does this do? Last name comma 1 comma sub str of last name comma 1,8. What does it do? It substring means it shortens the length. So it is going to select only the first 8 characters of the last name. Okay, that's what it will do. So when I run this, only the first character of the last 8 character of the last name. Then concat, then I'm concatenating it with underscore us. Okay, so then I'm concatenating it with underscore us. So it concatenates with underscore us. Then on top of that, I am putting a upper function to convert everything into upper, and that's what it does. Okay, so I can put as many nested functions as I want, one after the other. Of course, we need to be careful, because whenever putting a nested function, we need to make sure that the syntax is correct. Okay, we often make mistakes in syntax and brackets. The more the nested functions you put, the more brackets issues comes up and things like that. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Now we have another function which is called NVL function. Okay, this is also we very commonly use, very often use. What does NVL does? So NVL is, it converts a null value to an actual value. We get lot of problems with the null value when you are working with the actual data, which has lot of null values. Sometimes you forget, you don't see that it's a null value, or it's not an empty string, and you get lot of issues with the null values. So for example, commission underscore PCT, I may get confused whether it is a null or whether it is an empty. Right now, because this is a number, it cannot be empty, because as soon as I put an empty, it becomes a character and it will throw me an error because I selected it as a number. But if it is a character data type, then I can also put a space there. As soon as I put a space, it becomes a character, and then it will not be a null value, right? And so if I'm querying, I may get confused whether it is a space or whether it is a null, because both will look same to me, right, when I'm querying. So that's why we get a lot of issues with the null function. So to convert null function into an actual value, we use NVL function. Okay, there are a lot of different other ways also, but NVL is very commonly used. So NVL function. So the only thing that we need to make sure here for NVL function is that for NVL function, the both both the data types of the arguments should be same. So for example, if you see here, I'm using NVL and I'm converting commission underscore PCT. Wherever it is null, change it to 0. Now these two should have the same data type. Similarly, hire date and this whatever date should have the same data type. Now this has the same data type because it automatically converts character to date. SQL is smart enough to think that this is a date. Similarly, for job ID is a character and this should also be a character. Okay, so it has to be the same character, same data type. If it is not same data type, it will give me an error. All right, let's see some examples here. Okay, so I am running this. Okay, but before I do this, let's see what happens here. Okay, I have a commission. Sorry, I have a commission underscore PCT column. Okay, and I want to I am giving commission underscore PCT. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm saying give me the last name of all the employees, their salary, their commission percent, and then convert the salary into annual salary, and that salary, annual salary, should be given the commission. Okay, the percent of their commission, whatever the percent of their commission is, and then give me the actual amount, the annual salary amount. Okay, let's see what happens when I run this. You can see that the annual salary is coming out at 0. Okay, even though if I know that the commission percent is 0 for these cases, or null, they did not get any commission. Of course the king guy doesn't work on commission. So for all of these the commission is null, and wherever the commission is null, my annual salary is becoming null. But that's not correct. My annual salary cannot be null. This guy is drawing a salary, so annual salary is not null. If commission percentage is null, at least that portion should be 0, but not the complete thing. Only where commission percent has some value, only those values are coming, right? So in that case I have to convert and make this to look as 0. Okay, and this is the format: NVL commission percent, and then I'll say how I want this to be treated. So this NVL should convert it into 0. I can say to 2 also, it's my choice. 5, it's my choice. Usually we say 0 because null typically we say null means 0, especially if it is in number. Okay, and then I have to post NVL here as well, and then this is my syntactical error, so I'll put 0 here. Okay, and then I'll run this, and when I run this, you can see that my annual salary is increased. So 24,000 is my monthly salary. Okay, this is converted into multiplied by 12. Okay, and this is because percent is, this is 0, so this whole expression will become 0, and it will give me this. Why this whole expression was null before? Because I told earlier, any algebraic expression you do with null, the result is going to be the null. Okay, for example, if I'm doing this, let's see what it gives me. When I'm doing this, salary plus 0, it's giving me 24,000, which is the salary. Okay, which is the salary. Let's take this out so that we don't confuse ourselves. Okay, which is the salary. So 24,000, good enough because commission percent is 0. But if I remove the NVL here, okay, and I'm just saying salary plus commission, now I know commission is null in some cases and it makes everything null. Okay, that's the problem with the null. Okay, the null, it makes everything as not available, unassigned, not applicable, and it makes everything this. So I use NVL. Okay, NVL, and this is very often used. Okay, so we have to learn it by heart. NVL comma 0, like this we use NVL. Okay, and it gives me correct result. Sorry, so after NVL we have a coalesce function. Okay, we don't use that often, coalesce function, but if somebody asks in the interview, we can say what coalesce function is. It's very rarely used because we have other functions as well, similar to coalesce, and we use those functions which are much more effective, and those are often used. So that's why we use those functions often. So what does coalesce function does? So coalesce function, it gives me the first expression which is not null. So how the coalesce function works is, it can take lot of different expressions or columns, and it gives me the first expression whichever is not null expression. Okay, so let's see how that works. Okay, let's see how this works. So how this works is, you can see here I am saying commission percent. Now wherever commission percent is null, return me manager ID. Okay, wherever commission percent is null, return me manager ID. Okay, that's what coalesce function does. Okay, let's take this out. Okay, let's do this. If the first expression is null, then give me A. Okay, like this. If the first expression is null, then give me A. Okay, let's run this. Oops, sorry, this is wrong. Okay, so if the first expression is null, then give me A. So of course the first expression is null, I didn't give anything, so give me A. Okay, let's say my second expression, which was A in here, let's say my second expression is also null, then give me for example B, and it will keep on going. So it can take multiple expression. Whenever, until it finds the first expression which is not null, it keeps on going like that. Okay, now let's see this. Now this was my query, right? Now I am saying if my commission percent is null, then give me manager ID. So wherever my commission percent was null, it was giving me manager ID. Wherever my manager ID was null, say no commission and no manager. Now I know King guy is the top boss. He doesn't have any manager. He doesn't take any commission. So for him, the commission percent is null. For him, the manager ID is null. And we can check it here. All right, and we can check it here. The commission percent is null, manager ID is null. So wherever commission percent is null, it is giving me manager ID. Wherever manager ID is null, only one guy, it is giving me no commission and no manager, right? Now, the thing is, why did I convert this commission percent to 2_char before? And why did I convert manager ID to 2_char? Because coalesce has a restriction. All these expressions have to be same data type. Now because I am using this data type, which is a character data type, then I have to make all of these as character data type. If I would say 0 here, then probably I did not have to make it as a character data type, unless my manager ID is also not character. I think my manager ID is not defined as a character, but it's defined as a number in the table when the table was created. See, now it is not giving me, it is giving me correct. But let's say I change it to this, right? I'm saying 2_char, but I am not putting 2_char here, and then I run this. Then it gives me error, inconsistent data type. So all these expressions have to be the same expressions and same data types, otherwise it will give me an error. So that is the coalesce function. Now what is the next function? Okay, next function is case and decode. So what is the case function, guys? We'll just finish the case and decode function, and then we'll wrap up the class. Okay, case, this is another function, very important function, very often used. This gives SQL so much importance And so much we can do with using this case function that it, even though it is a structured query language, this becomes like a, this particular function makes it more like a programming language, even though it is not a programming language. That is the beauty of the case. Okay, so with case you can use if then else. If then else statements are very often used, very important programming language statements, logic. You can build a lot of logic using if then else. How that works? How that works is, I can say if, okay, if let's say um, my manager is king, for example. So I say if my manager is king, then give me 20% commission. For all the employees who have manager as king, give them 20% commission. If they have manager as let's say if they have manager as Blake, for example, okay, give them 10% commission. For all others, give them 5% commission, like that. Okay, this is like a programming. I have to do a lot of programming for this. If manager is king, then give me 20% commission. If manager is Blake, then 10%, else 5%. Or if I can keep on adding. If manager is Alex, give them 2%. Like that, I can keep on going, right? So this gives me lot of strength in terms of for the SQL statement. So that's how I use my case statement. It is I can use it as a if then else logic. And so two functions I can use, case and decode also. Decode has some restrictions, but case is very powerful. So case expression allows you to use the if then else logic, okay, in the SQL, whereas SQL is not even a programming language, not even a procedure. In simple case expression, we are saying when and then. Okay, when it just says case, then we put an expression, then we say when, then we compare this, and if this is true, then we say return whatever. Then the next statement, when this is true, then return this value. When this is true, then return this value. And if nothing is true, okay, then return this value. And then you end this case expression. Okay, this is how we write it. Let's run it. When we run it, we will be able to understand more. Okay, now we ran it and we run it. Let's see how we got the result. Now number one, if you notice how I have indenting it in a nice format, like after like select, it comes here. Okay, in all the columns in the select are here. Case is in a separate line after select, like then job ID, and then after job ID. Okay, actually it messed up, but it should be like this. Okay, after job ID, when all in one line. Okay, and this end should be here. Okay, yeah, and should be here, whereas then and this then all in one line, and then whatever the return for n is here. Okay, and so very beautifully I indented it. Why? Because so that I don't get confused, because it becomes, when I'm doing a lot of things, it may get very messy. All right, so what it does is it's saying select last name, okay, job ID, salary. It's selecting last name, job ID, and salary of all the employees. Okay, and what it's saying is case job ID. So it's saying where or if job ID is IT program, then give them 10% of the salary. Okay, when job ID is IT program, that means the IT guy, then give them 10% of the salary. When that guy is a clerk, give them 15% of the salary. When that guy is a sales rep, give them 20% of the salary. Okay, else if there anything else, then don't give them any percentage, just give them salary. Okay, and this statement here, and give this is an alias. Give this column. This is a new column. This is an expression. Give this column an alias revised salary. So this is what is happening. It's giving a new column as revised salary. So for job ID IT program, okay, the salary is 9,000. I am giving them 10%. Okay, so I'm giving them 10% increase. So which is 1.10, 10% increase. When the if job ID is clerk, ST clerk. So if job ID is clerk, okay, give them 15% of the salary. So I'm giving them 15% of the salary. If job ID is sales rep, okay, then give them where is my sales rep? Sales rep probably is in the next number of rows. So whenever, so if my sales rep, then give me 1.20 of the salary. Okay, I can change this to, let's say, instead of sales rep, let's say ST man, so that I can show it right here. Okay, if it is ST man like this, then give them 20% of the salary, right? So this is how I can build very good logic in my select statements using the if then else. If job ID is this, then do this. If job ID is this, then do this. If job ID is ST man, then do this. And if nothing, then just give them salary. So for example, ADVP getting these only salary, financial manager only salary, financial accountant only salary. Okay, like that. And revised salary is the new column name. So that's how I use my case statement. Now I have the decode statement. So decode statement is similar to case statement. This is exactly same as the case statement with only one difference. Okay, with only one difference, and I'll show you that difference. So let's run that first thing, and then we'll go to case. We'll go to decode. So let's say case, and let's say I'm saying where salary is, if salary is less than 5,000, then print very low. If salary is less than 10,000, then print so. Okay, I'm just saying print. Okay, I'm not doing anything. If salary is greater than 50,000, then say too high. Okay, then say too high, and else say excellent. Okay, and then here I can say salary grade, whatever. I'm just giving them a number. Okay, it says missing an expression. Why? Because I did not put comma here. Oh, wait. I did not put when also. Yeah, that's why we need to make this as in the nice indenting format. Oops. Okay. Now let's run it. Okay. Now it gives me. Now here you can see this guy is too high, so low, too high, right? So it can do a lot of logic on its own, right? It can do a lot of logic in its own. So that's the beauty of the case statement. You can do a lot of things in the case statement. Now the last statement that we have is a decode statement. Guys, do you want to do it now or do you want to do it later? We can do it later also.
Let's do it later.
Okay, let's do it later. Tomorrow we'll do the decode statement tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you the exercise for day 3 and day 4. Okay, I'll send it tomorrow. And the only thing is left is decode. So you, if there is any question on for decode, just leave it. We'll do it tomorrow.
Okay.
All right.
All right, guys.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Have you guys finished the exercise too?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. How about you, Shikha?
No, I did not get to do all of it.
Come on, do it. Otherwise, we'll keep on. We'll go ahead, and then you will face some issues with this thing.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we'll try to do it tomorrow.
Okay. All right. All right. Emmanuel, can you stay for 2 minutes?
Okay. Yeah. Still around.
All right. Bye. Bye, Jay. Bye, Emmanuel.
Bye.
Bye, Shikhar.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night. Yeah.
Emmanuel, we completed the 4 days here. Right now, we have 4 days more left in this session. We may run into 5 days because we are running a little bit behind. So we may run into 5 days or something like that, and then we'll have the exercise after this.
Okay.
So can you make the remaining payment?
Yeah, definitely. I'll do that.
All right, sounds good. Okay.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Good night.
Good night.